real estate market is gonna crash. At least that's what I've been hearing virtually every day from buyers for like the last 4 years. Well, guess what? It hasn't crashed yet. But if you wanna buy a house and the market crashes, now what? A lot of people worry about this. And it even scares people completely out of the market of buying a home. In this video, we're gonna break down what does it actually mean for you if the housing market does crash? What you can do to protect yourself in case a crash does happen. And finally, my predictions on if a housing market crash is coming this year. Now let's get into it. Now at this point, you may be asking yourself, what even causes a housing market crash? To understand what causes a housing market collapse, let's go back in time to the last real crash in 2008. Back then, home prices were skyrocketing, but at the same time, lenders were handing out loans to anyone with a pulse, often with unfavorable terms. For example, many loans had adjustable interest rates, meaning that when rates went up, so did mortgage payments. Therefore, when the Great Recession hit and people started losing their jobs, everything fell apart. Mortgage payments spiked and incomes disappeared. So foreclosures and short sales flooded the market. And because of that, demand tanked. Buyers simply could not afford to purchase a home. Therefore, prices plummeted virtually overnight. This helps us understand exactly what can cause a collapse. Here are the key things that set the stage for a market crash. The first indicator is a weak job market, which would be caused by a recession. Next, home prices are overinflated and wages aren't keeping up. And then finally, too much inventory outweighing buyer demand, which would be caused by either overbuilding or rising foreclosures. So the market crashes. What does this actually mean for you? Well, back in 2008, home prices tanked overnight, but that didn't mean every homeowner instantly lost everything. Unless they had to sell, that loss was just on paper. Therefore, those who held onto their homes saw their values bounce back. It happened faster than most expected. By 2012, prices were already climbing, and within a decade, values had soared well beyond pre-crash levels. So if the market crashes, this is what it means for you. Home values drop. If you bought at the peak, your home isn't gonna be worth what you paid for it. But you only lose money if you sell. Buyers wait. Many hold off on buying and wait for the market to bottom out, slowing the market down even more. Banks tighten their lending requirements. It gets harder to qualify for a mortgage, reducing demand even further. There are ways to help protect you against a downward dip in the market, but you'll want to follow these steps very closely so that you don't end up upside down on your investment. You're going to want to buy smart. Don't overpay just because everyone else is. Utilize your agent. Have them do a market analysis to help you understand what market value is for the property that you want. Plan to stay put. Real estate is a long game. And if you don't plan on moving in the next few years, short-term price drops don't really matter. History proves this works. And here's a chart showing how home prices appreciated over time. And as you can see, long-term real estate prices always go up. You're gonna wanna have a financial cushion. If anything crazy happens, like losing your job or having unexpected expenses pop up, you want to be able to ride it out. So this brings us to the million-dollar question. Is the real estate market getting ready to crash? At the end of the day, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you for certain if the housing market is going to or isn't going to crash. My educated guess though, no, because the demand still outweighs the supply and the job market is still strong. But if you're thinking about buying and you're worried about timing the market, remember this one thing. The best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Don't let fear dictate your goals. As long as your plan is to live in a home long term, then it won't matter if the market crashes tomorrow because the housing market always bounces back. Watch my ultimate home buyer guide video. In this video, I go over exactly everything you need to know about buying a home.